You still shouldn't hear me. Now you should hear me, though. This is the official moment when everyone will be hearing me. That was a good old awkward start, but hey, we're learning here. Um, this is the Storm King's Thunder Crew. This is session 44, titled Drylund's Confession. Last we left off, the party ganged entryway to the Grand Dame, a gambling ship run by a Lord Caspian Dryland, the water baron of Octavius's Ren's hometown, where he was exiled from a potential framed murder, returning and looking for clues as to the death of Queen Neri and the disappearance of King Hecaton, tasked with guiding and protecting Queen or Princess Giant Sarissa, disguised as a human. You boarded the ship in the guise of nobility guests and cooks. You made your way through lunch, breakfast, and dinner service and tangled with the nobles, gambling on crab fighting and dice rolling. You made your way through dinner, where some unexpected guests arrived on the ship and began attacking the civilians, looking for apparently two people. It was a bit confusing at first why they were there, but it became apparent when the one caster individual named Cage, Stoneomancer, we're going to call him. He's a big stoner. And he seen Sarissa and was apparently looking for her, even though she was disguised, trying to cast spells in the party, battling back. The Stoneomancer turned most of the nobility civilians to first death and then turned them to stone and animated them to life to attack against. This caused Livy to be petrified, and another Archmage caster aboard cast the spell on Sarissa, which seemingly had no effect, but then made his way, giving one last message to Warrendale that if he hurries, he might be able to find a meeting between them again. This Tholtz character. This is where we pick up the session. You see Sarissa summoning forth the Worm Skull Throne in the icy cold river of the Desaren River, the Grand Dame, currently illuminated by the moonlight sky, the crisp wind blowing. She is soaking wet and shivering, and she sits in the throne, Warrendale, as you look in the distance and look to see if you can see any more gargoyles or the caster, any sign of them. They're nowhere to be found. Octavius stammers out the window of the Grand Dame, kind of falling onto the deck, and this is where we pick up the session. Go ahead. What do you guys do?
Octavius will look to what he believes is the stone-hardened Livy. As he starts to slowly lift himself from the ground, he'll crawl over to her, place his hands on her shoulders. And I'm not sure if the ring of Ilmater will actually allow this to happen or not, or if it's powerful enough for this to happen. But one of the things I can do is I can actually, it's called Ilmater's Burden, I can transfer disease or sickness. Would I be able to take on Livy's petrification?
This is unfortunately beyond a disease or sickness, and as you try to take this burden from Livy, it is no match. The incantation has set in, and it is nothing that you can undo. You see a wizard, which you would have known as...
See Octavius trying.
Yeah, and you see a character by the name of Hao Ming standing beside her and asking you, what are you doing?
I'm mourning a friend until I can find out a cure.
Everyone needs to calm down. We need to see if there's any more survivors left, and if there are any more of those assailants on board. She reaches to her collar. During the fight, Octavius, you remember her reaching to her snake cloak that she wore, or more of like a tunic of sorts, and pulling. There's snakes around the collar, kind of like a popped collar, but in the fashion of knitted snakes. And every time she reached for one, she would rip it off, and a giant poisonous snake would animate. She rips off another one of these snakes, as the two that she summoned forth originally were slain, and throws it onto the ground. It unravels and coils, hissing at her, and then she speaks to it kind of in like a, what was that, parcel tongue or whatever, Harry Potter style, and the snake goes and starts slithering around the deck. What is everybody else doing?
Livy remains still.
What about Reich Liviant?
Sorry, man, I lost you. You dropped. I didn't hear the last of that.
There we go. So, yeah. So Reich would definitely be have just gotten in the room, see that Olivia is petrified because she got in there before he did, and once hearing that we needed to make sure that the place was clear, he would do that. He'd go back into the other room, and check everyone, make sure everybody's down and everything's clear.
You head back into the other room, and all that remains is the dust and rubble that once was the nobility people or the nobles that you were mingling with only moments ago. You look and you see crushed kind of arms that are left, limbs, heads, but it's just like statues that have been ruined now. Only moments ago they were human, but whatever that individual cage did to them turned them into something horrible. You pick up an arm maybe and see that like the claws kind of are dripping with this ichor, and you suspect that that is the poison that lined their attacks and maybe did this harm to Livy.
Yeah, he'd go to the front of the ship. I think that's called the bow, right? The front of it. And he would search out there and then come up the left side of the ship.
Okay.
And patrol all the way down that side, looking in the water, so on and so forth. He's not, I'm just looking for very obvious things.
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah. Not something he's great at, but we can try it. Where is that? There it is. Oh, hey, that's an natural 20.
Hey, yeah, you are on the main deck. So this is a technically 3-story ship, because there's the below deck and then there's the balcony side. But on this main level, there are no signs of any more intruders. You see maybe the kind of crushed side of the port side of the ship where the gargoyles obviously landed. A bunch of lanterns are now cracked and broken and laying on the deck side, kind of simmering to a fizzle coming out. You see cracks and scrapes, a bit of snow still on the deck from the icy wind that's kind of blowing it in, but no other individuals besides maybe as you're coming towards the stern, the backside, you hear the running footsteps of somebody and you momentarily ready your weapon, but it's just a panicked noble and his wife grabbing him by the arm, and he panics when he first sees you. We don't mean any harm. Please spare us.
I suggest you exit the ship.
He looks around. There's water everywhere. What do you mean? We would surely freeze to death.
Then maybe a lower deck or something. Is there lower decks on the ship?
Yes, there is lower deck on the ship.
Right, yeah. So I would instruct him to maybe go down there, and wait until we've certain that the threat has been neutralized. And then I would, make my way around the back of the ship and meet up with Octavius and.
Absolutely.
I mean, no, with Warrendale, because he's back inside here. So.
Okay.
So I'm over here now.
Yeah, for sure. Warrendale, what are you doing? Sarissa summons forth the Wormskull throw and grabbing onto the scepter. She's in a panic. Why can't I change? What is going on? And she summons the energy of the throne and makes it hover above, and she hops over to the deck now, soaking wet. Obviously not cold or anything. I'm pretty sure the giants are they're not immune to, or they are resistant to cold, so she's not that cold, but she's wet and soaking and still in her human form.
She's in her human form?
Yes.
Well, what about the Wormskull throne? Is that like huge, or is it just like a normal?
It is still huge, yes.
Alright, well, I'll at least help her back onto the deck so she's out of the water, and I guess she can dismiss that, whatever.
Yeah, she hops on deck and grabs the scepter, the Corellon scepter, and the throne vanishes from existence once more. She takes a deep breath, and who the hell are those people? What did they do? What did they say?
You cannot turn back into your normal self. Is that it?
I don't know. I tried to end the spell, the incantation, and it didn't work for some reason.
It's likely made your spell permanent of some sort.
Is that a thing? Why would he do that?
Well, you're not as strong when you're like this.
You are strong. You can change me back, right? And she grabs you by the collar and kind of pulls you. Please, I can't stay like this.
Perhaps with the right time and the right scroll, sure, but not at this moment, no.
Shit, she says. Shit. Mithrin was right. I shouldn't have came.
We'll figure it out eventually. Don't worry. Just takes a bit of time. And you weren't gonna get big into your giant size anytime soon anyway, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so did that happen simultaneously of Reich going around the ship doing his thing? Right? So Reich wouldn't be there yet.
Probably. That's what I was just
I'd say you're walking around the corner right now.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I, recognize if that's what a white might be or something? That's what he's thinking anyway. But
Yeah, go ahead. Do an Arcana check.
Okay, so around the corner, Reich comes. Olivia is petrified, I believe, is the correct term. She's looks like stone. We should probably go figure that out because he doesn't know about her not being able to do the thing.
well, one thing at a time, I guess. Let's go check on her. You'll be just fine for the moment, so we'll tackle yours as well.
Is there another issue? What is going on out here?
Yeah, you motioned her, Saracen. She can't take her normal giant form. She seems to be permanently polymorphed into this humanized form for the moment. But that is less important, I think, than Livy's precarious situation. Spells can often be reversed or cancelled, but
it's worse than you think, though. If we can't change this, if I can't get back to my giant form and I go home like this, you don't understand. No one will respect me as a queen of the giants if I am in this form.
Just because you're smaller, they have no respect.
Giants are a proud kin, and me even coming here was already testing the boundaries of what they are willing to accept.
Good point. Well, there's plenty of places we might be able to figure something out.
Wouldn't the mages that sent us here be able to do something about that? They are quite powerful, weren't they? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention really.
Perhaps them, the mages at Candlekeep. Perhaps. I'm sure we can figure something out. We have time, well, not much, but Livy is most important at the moment, I think.
Yeah. So he goes back in that door and goes to tend to find out what Octavius is doing at this point.
Yeah, I have nothing to help Livy.
Octavius is currently dropped from the call, trying to work through his internet, but I believe he should be. Oh, he's back right now. Speak of the devil. Well then, let's hop over to here and hope that the webcam stayed. They did. Hey, it's a miracle. Welcome back. Can you hear us, Dan? Maybe not.
He has a sexy pose going on, though.
Yeah, he does look quite provocative in his pose there. I know there's a current storm in our city, so the internet might be giving him a hard time. Dan, are you there? He stares intently and mutes his mic. I'm going to assume the technical difficulties are continuing for you, Mr. Octavius, so I will speak for you until you can. And basically what he is going to say is that he thinks he can fix Livy, but he would need some time to pray and to basically channel his magic through ill matter in a different format than he currently has prepared. 8 hours of rest should be enough.
Alright.
Don't know if there's a...
conscious, or is she completely stoned?
She is completely petrified condition, which I believe means
Right.
she's unconscious and basically in big trouble. So up to you guys what you want to do. Pao Ming is going around the ship, and she comes back with a couple of survivors. The cooks finally come out of the kitchen and join you all, and just kind of in a nervous voice ask if it's all over. And then go ahead.
Absolutely none of this is over. I don't think. Right?
Just beginning, you suspect?
No,
What is this man that's supposed to mend the ship? This dry soul or dry rant or whatever his name is.
Pao Ming comes to you and say, "You speak of Drylund."
Yes. Where is he in all of this? Isn't this his boat?
He was due to come down just after the dinner service. I haven't checked on him yet.
Perhaps you should do that. That'd be
maybe.
important.
And
Shouldn't do you want me to travel with you? Security.
Indeed.
Yes. Chum Scrubber would like to travel with you, my friend.
My
He's a
name is
good
Reich
fucking guy.
Livian. Please don't call me that again, there, friend. The ruse is over. We had to go beyond what we may have shown. Yes, my name is Reich Livian. Come from the far north.
You hear loud footsteps coming from behind where the kitchen was, and then pushing open the double doors leading into the hallway comes forth Captain Neville Storn, and he walks in and says, "Pow, what the hell is going on? We were attacked up there by some stone beast with wings and many arms. Is everybody why were all those people crushed in the... What the hell is going on?" She replies that they have been attacked by some assailants, some of which we're looking for, as everybody is now in the gambling hall. Tables overturned, dice and chips lying everywhere. She points and says to Sarissa, "They were looking for her. What have you brought forth to this ship? Watch them, Captain. I must check on Drylund." And she begins to head towards the spiral staircase towards the south, behind the big plaque of the Golden Goose.
Yeah, Silas follows right behind her.
All right.
Silas. I mean, sorry. Right. Follows right behind her. Sorry, saying other characters' names. That's funny.
No worries.
Yeah.
Cool. So then let me...
Weapon at the ready, just to make sure that there's no...
Ooh, I got the wrong...
We're not, and he has danger sense, so he won't be able to be surprised.
Yeah. Perfect. I grabbed the wrong token for Mr. Neville, so let me fix that. Get out of here, wrong token. This is what Neville is. And is anyone following Reich, or is it just Pow and Reich going? Just Pow and Reich. So let me resync the map, and that should be... Or does it show you both levels now? It's kind of hard.
Yeah, but
size it.
Yeah, I think I have to resize it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it does.
Okay, perfect. Let me fix that also.
So we need to go to the one on the right side now? Right.
Yes. So let me fix my map on the stream too. And basically, what will happen is when you go up the stairs,
we're going to the one to the south, right?
Yeah, I'll bring you over there. You come up into what looks like a dance hall, where there was this wooden stage, instruments just kind of lay on the floor, chucked over in a panic. You see a couple of the deckhands poking out from some curtains, and Pao Ming yells for them to get back. They reply, "Pow, they came for Drylund. I heard him shouting in his cabin." And she hurriedly breaks down to the hall and pushes open the drawer to his cabin. And what you see is like a testament to bad taste. There is just purple velvet curtains and scented candles and gaudy candelabras all around the room. In the center of this room is a massive aquarium tank, which currently is a hole through it and water is leaking out. An octopus climbs across the floor towards Pow's feet. And then on the opposite side is basically a big desk and a wooden chest that is locked. You also see lying on the floor is Mr. Drylund, the Water Baron himself, currently hand on his gut and a wound grievously stabbed into him. She runs over to him. Lord Drylund, are you okay? Speak to me. He does not. He's not answering. Quickly, we need healing. This is to you, right, Liviant, since you're the only other one with him. You're muted, sir.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use Healing Hands. It is... I don't know, man, because I can't get this stuff to come up. Oh, wait, here it is. I can heal 10.
Okay, let me see something here.
I mean, because the equal to my level. I can't use it again until a long rest.
As you use the healing hand, kneeling down forth and channeling, I don't know why I'm speaking like that, channeling the energy of your ancestors into a healing energy. The radiant light kind of emanates from your hands over the wound, but no breath is returned to to Drylund. Make a medicine check if you wish. Pao Ming is going to do the same.
Yes, this is going to be terrible.
She rolled a natural 1. What is wrong with him? Fix him. Help me.
By no means a healer, man.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to get the sense that this guy looks pretty dead.
Yeah. It's, we may... Yeah, I am the wrong person to be... I have a very small emergency healing thing that I did channel from my ancestors, but this man appears to be expired, ma'am. That's what I see.
Your friend, the cook, he said he had the ability to fix that stone girl. Is he a cleric of sorts?
He is.
Well, then clearly he can fix this, right?
I really would hope. I guess we should convene. Shouldn't we check the rest of the level to make sure that we're not still alone?
No, Drylund is more important than any of this.
Well, you go tell my compatriots I'm going to do so.
All right.
And he will go up and check these other 2 rooms. So far.
All right. As you check the other 2 rooms, they seem to be crew cabins. A bunch of hammocks in the different corners of the room that just are connected to each of the walls, and then basically little lock boxes underneath each of them. As you head forth even further north, you see some more of these red curtains. You push them over to the side, and it reveals the bridge, or where the captain would steer the main ship.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I would come back with her and say, yeah, I would suggest we talk to Octavius. We have a very large problem on our hands here, because I think you're boxed, correct?
Sorry, what'd you say? You're boxed?
This is your...
Yes, this is the boss. Not only the
leader.
boss, but the water baron of all of Yartar.
Yeah.
The city needs him.
Maybe... Well, leaders can always be replaced, ma'am. if need be. But it looks pretty final for him right this moment.
Not him. He cannot be replaced. He was a great man.
And I'm sorry for that type of feeling. And he kind of not forces her, but like pushes her on his shoulder to go back downstairs.
You guys head back downstairs, where I'm assuming you see Warrendell and Stone Liffey and Sarissa and Captain Neville Storm, a couple of other people, the cooks, and about 4 other survivors are now down here waiting around. You see...
Is the boat operational, do we know?
If you ask Neville that, I'm assuming, the captain, he says that there is something wrong with the ship. I have lost the ability to steer it. And I guess he would, being the captain, he would have kind of walked away and said that there is damage done to the rudder. I think that's what steers the ship. But he knows whatever is the mechanism for what controls the ship is broken, and he would say that the assailants also wish to lock us out on this river, for the ship is no longer controllable. We'll have to find a way to alert the coastline and have ships sent.
How far are we from the coastlines?
From the coastlines itself, not that far, but you're far enough away from Yartar itself. You're several hours downriver. As you look, let me just confirm before I start spitballing complete bullshit that there's really no other cities around, but give me a second to confirm that so that I don't get called out on my lack of Sword Coast knowledge. So Yartar is on currently the Desarin River, so yeah, you're just like smack dab in the middle of the Desarin Hills, which are basically a rugged and scruffy hillside of South Yartar. It's known to be a safe haven for ogres, orcs, hill giants, and manticores. The captain kind of rambles off, saying that it is a dangerous place. There's a couple of emergency rowboats that we could let down and maybe send forth some people to Yartar, and then they will alert or send back other ships to escort us, but being locked out here, that will be a timely manner.
I'm assuming the ship doesn't have like sails. It's more of like a powered boat.
Yes.
As they went. Okay.
Indeed, it is. I'm guessing you talked to Octavius, who is currently struggling with internet. Let me check what spells Mr. Wren has readied. Does he have Revivify? He does. Does he have a 3rd level spell slot? He does. Does that matter? Because it is a person who has been dead for a minute. So unfortunately, due to the events that have occurred, a minute has passed. Other spells that Octavius Wren thinks that he can command. What does he have readied? He also has 5th level spells that he can currently access. So let me read this guy. You can return a dead creature to life, provided that the creature has been dead no longer than 10 days. If the creature's soul is both willing at liberty to rejoin the body, the creature will return to life with 1 hit point. The spell also neutralizes blah 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 blah. Yeah, so he can cast Raise the Dead, if you so choose to. But he will need a diamond worth 500 gold pieces, and he says that it consumes the spell. And having no lost love for this potential Drylund, who has some nefarious connection to his high fathers, he is interested in answers, but not too keen to bring him back to life. He stubbornly says, I will pray to my God and ready the spell, speak with dead. I see no reason for this man to continue living.
I'm sure there's plenty of diamonds here we can find to use.
Pao Ming reaches into her bag of holding and pulls out, "Here, a diamond, 500 gold. Use it." I guess I will make the call for Dan that he will choose to raise the dead. Sorry, Dan, if you disagree. But doing so, I'm sure that you guys are all upstairs now. Sorry, Livy, to keep you in the abyss for now, but he sits down and begins chanting the diamond placed over the heart of Drylund, and he begins chanting and tracing out sigils of ill matter into the air and over the carcass of Drylund. It takes only a few... it takes actually a long time, and he says he will have to prepare, I almost goofed that up, a ritual of sorts, 1 hour, before I can bring this man back from the dead, for which he will have many questions that need answering. What do you guys want to do while the hour passes? You have free reign to the ship. Anything that you want to accomplish, or shall I just jump forth to the ritual?
I mean, Livy's right now enjoying winning Ghost in the Graveyard, so
Having like an out-of-body experience.
totally. She's just watching, going, "Hey, I win."
I'll find the captain and I suggest you at least to drop anchor so we don't drift to the sides or drift further down the river. At least we can stay where we are for the time being.
Yes, I've already done that.
So you spoke of sending for help. Is that something that's happened?
Yes, I've sent 2 of my strongest deckhands.
Okay. Well, guess we wait. It appears as if our cleric is going to be able to revive your boss. So
That is good. I am happy to hear this.
we'll be on that.
All right. Nothing else happens. An hour goes by. The ritual of resurrection is performed by Octavius Rend as the Raise the Dead spell completes. Caspian takes a deep breath of shocked air coming into his lungs, unexpectedly lying on the floor. Oh, what's happened? He looks up. Pow! What is... Where are the men? A man came in here and attacked me. Are they gone? Is the ship okay? Pow speaks. You're on mute, Corey, if you're trying to speak. That the assailants are now gone. They came looking for individuals with these people. Is everyone upstairs? I'm going to picture that Sarissa actually stayed down with Livy to make sure that she's okay. It's up to Warren. He's not here right now, but it's up to Warren whether he came. But I'm assuming that Reich, you're also here. So I don't have to have a conversation with myself as Octavius Ren.
Yes, he's there.
Yeah.
And he would say, well, we took care of the threat there, sir, and it was a bit grave for you, I believe. And now you're back, so just need to figure out what is the next step. We're stuck out here at sea.
Oh, that is not good at all. Not good at all, but thank you. Thank you for saving my ship. He takes deep, troubled breaths in. I will be sure to repay you. Octavius takes a step forward, grabs him by the neck, shoving him up against the deck. You will do more than repay me. I have questions that need answering. Herschel the High Father, what did you do to him? Grappled by the neck at 1 HP, he says, what the hell do you mean? Unhand me at once! And Pow steps forth and begins channeling some magic and says, you will step back at him immediately. Warren, are you up in this mess, or did you stay down deck with Livy? Warren, you're on mute. Still muted.
Damn it. Yeah, seeing that Libby's kind of in stasis at the moment, I'd probably head upstairs as well.
Okay, so yeah, you head upstairs, and then you hear an altercation, the slamming of furniture, and the yelling voice of Octavius Wren asking for answers. What do you and Reykjavian do as Pao Ming now readies a spell?
I put my hand on her shoulder. Just wait a minute. This man revived him. I think he has the right to get his answers first.
She will say he will have his right to answers, but he will unhand my nearly dead employer.
So then he can be dead again. Just give it just a moment.
If he dies, then I will take at least one of you with me.
I've been dead before, it's okay.
Octavius asks what you did to his high father. He says, I had nothing to do with that. It was Nestor Luthiel, and some assassins. Who are you? He probably replies something along the lines of, this is awkward. I am Octavius Wren, the Undaunted. He says, a servant, a priest of the High Father, and I come seeking retribution for him. He will say that he had nothing to do with that. You're clearly misunderstanding. The people who did deal with that have been dealt with. I am sorry for your loss, priest. And Octavius lowers his hand due to some insight rolls. And then, I guess because she is needed here, and nobody else is bringing it up. Or no, Sarissa would have told you to ask him about the coin and his mother, or her mother, and the king. So Wanda, you will be the messenger for that, I guess, so that I don't have to role play 5 people at once.
No, yeah, that's what I figured. Once Octavius had his answers he was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will say that I do not believe you, but I do not have proof yet. So you will stand trial, and if you are found guilty, then make no mistake, you will return to where I've raised you from.
I think we have important matters, Octavius, besides your past. Ask him what he knows of the ring, of the coin. Sarasa, perhaps her mother.
What do you mean, the coin?
Mess.
The golden goose coin, those are my coins. It's for the Grand Dame. It is the currency of the ship. Surely you must know that, being aboard. Why do you trouble me with such foolish things?
Do you keep a record of who's been on your ship?
Yes. That it's private affairs, though.
I think at a certain time, having privacy to something so shallow is not a wise decision.
Why do you raise me from the dead and make threats? You realize who I am? I am Caspian Drylund, the Water Baron of Yaltar.
Well, Mr. Drylund, what it is that if we think that you have some connection to this coin.
I have several connections to this coin, clearly. This is my ship. This is my enterprise. I have raised it from the ground.
I'm not to subdue him, am I, there, Warrendale?
He's getting a little feisty. I mean, we could send him back to the grave if you want, but...
I don't want to kill him, but we could, it's not like you're going to have a chance to not tell us this information, because the end of the world is coming, sir. And you can be maybe one of the heroes of this, or you can just be a man that still won't have anything to do with it, because, like he said, you could go back to where you were a few moments ago.
I mean, we could always just ask his soul when he's dead. I mean, I can do that.
These are certainly things. These are not threats. These are observations of need, right? It's not a.
Listen,
We're not your enemy
what
here.
do you want from me? You are asking if I have any connections to the coin. Clearly I have connections to the coin. This is my enterprise. Does that answer your questions?
So then if you have information to where this coin may have been issued to, are they marked? Anything like that?
No. They're all just insignificant. Only currency that is worth anything is on this ship. Off deck, they mean nothing. Sure, I guess as a memorabilia, some people might take them, but they are worth nothing else. Only to me are they worth something.
Okay. Perhaps you would remember some people that came on your ship. We're looking for this young lady's mother, father, somebody, perhaps King Hekaton. I mean, one of these people that would have visited your ship to get this coin.
King Hekaton.
We need to know how this coin got in her purse. Motion towards Sarissa. I don't know if she wants to give out who she is or not exactly, but it's kind of up to her.
She's actually currently down with Livy.
Okay.
If you call her up, though, which I'm assuming you're kind of landlocked, she would say, my mother was found murdered on the coastline of the Sword Coast. The only thing I found on her body besides the wounds that took her life is this coin.
And when was that? There.
Months ago.
Princess. Any stammering, try not to blow her cover for you because she hasn't said.
Yeah. And as you say that, he would say, well, there's no way that you can pin that on me. Surely hundreds, if not thousands, of these coins could be circulating around the coast of Faerun, or the Sud Coast. What does that have to do with me? And she will step forward and say, Queen Neri, Queen to Hekaton, King of the Storm Giants. Do you know these names I speak of? And even though she is this small, kind of 5'6" humanoid girl currently, her voice has that foreboding intimidation, hopefully, of a giant queen, and she will make a charisma check and score a 23. He's, for some reason, more intimidated by her than any of you, and says, those names, they mean nothing to me.
Well, they mean a whole heck of a lot to her, and maybe the safety of this world.
I'm sorry if somebody killed your mother and your father and had my coins, but clearly that has nothing to do with me.
Oh, Warrendale, please fix this.
Anyone want to do?
I'm growing very, very, very impatient.
Sarissa steps forth and says, I do not believe you. Tell me, or this will be your last moment. What happened to my mother? He says, intimidated by the Princess Queen, All right. I will tell you. But know that if you interfere, if you find out the depths of which this reach, there will be no coming back for you. He will come for you. You are as good as dead. If I speak of what has happened, I am as good as dead. She looks forth and says,
I'm growing impatient there, Warrendale.
"You will die a much more terrible way if you do not answer." "All right. My men, they played a role in Queen Neri's death. Yes. She was trusting of us. We disguised ourselves as members of the Lord's Alliance and sought counsel, inviting her aboard this ship for a chance at peace. My men laid in wait and assassinated her. But this was not my order. This was the order of a higher power. When King Hecaton came looking, and we knew he would, because he was watching. He's always watching. He sees everything. He sees this moment right now. There is no hiding from his gaze. He was no match. We ambushed the king, subdued him. He now currently is held in stasis aboard a ship called the Morkoth. It is currently sailing around a cluster of islands around the trackless sea, known as the Purple Rocks. The ship is protected by powerful spells that stop all magical means of finding it. There. Are you happy? You doomed us all now.
What is the name of this higher power that is so-called compelled you to assassinate the queen?
My master. He starts to laugh. You're all so doomed. You want to know who my master is? I will tell you. And he starts reaching for his sleeve and pulling back, and he shows you a tattoo that runs down his arm. And at first you mistake it. Octavius probably foremost mistakes it as a serpent coiling around his arm, but as you look at it further, you realize it's not a serpent. It is a tentacle. And it wraps around his arms, and he says, "Yes, look at what you have interfered with." And he starts to pull back his shirt and reveals his back. And an entire tattoo encasing most of his upper half is a tentacled beast, large and encompassing, black in ink with deep beady eyes that wraps around his entire body, tentacles going down his arms, his chest, his neck. It is all around him. And he says, "My master is Slarkathel."
Now, Corey knows what that is, but Rick has no idea what that is.
And he will say, "Hecaton is just a bargaining chip. Another entity. Somebody has paid my master to do this." But
somebody is more powerful than your master. Is that what you're saying?
No one is more powerful than my master. He spits. You will see soon enough. Now kill me. Kill me before he comes and does it worse. Please, I beg you, end it for me.
I say we just leave him. We can throw him overboard. What do you say, Mike?
Riker would look at the princess and go, it's a very heavy information, that princess. Do we want to give him what he wants? And he pulls out his weapon and just holds it in his in front of him in an aggressive stance.
She steps forth and grabs him, who's now wallowing on his knees. In the intermix of tears and maniacal laughter, he says, "Yes, end this for me." And she pulls him close, looking at him and says, "Since I knew my mother died, I thought of nothing more than getting vengeance for the sick and twisted individual that would kill such a sweet, sweet, trusting soul. But as I look at you, you pitiful mess of a man, I see that it would do you pleasure. No, I will let you pay for what you've done. He throws him down. He kind of tumbles into the desk. Papers and ink spill onto him. He truly does look like a sad, pitiful man dressed in noble's clothes, almost as if a clown is adorning some fancy wear to put on a show. As the ink drips on his bearded face, he says, "Please, kill me. I will tell you anything. I will tell you the name of the person who hired him if you end it for me. For if you don't, it'll be so much worse for me. I feel him. He is near. He's always near. Please, end it and I will tell you. I will tell you what you want to know."
We're gonna look over at Power. Do you two work for this octopus fellow? You know what
She
he's talking about? A part of
cocks
all this?
her eyes and says, "I knew that he worked for somebody of power, higher power, but I did not know how deep it went. I just protect the ship and earn a paycheck, nothing more."
So then it appears as if you're in over your head, much as we all are.
I see it as my job is no longer convenient for me to work. Consider this my resignation, for I did not sign up for this.
Smart woman.
Coward.
Yeah, he will come forth to you, Ryclivian, the one that seems the most agitated, and he will kind of grovel at your legs, pulling on your pants and say, "Kill me. I will tell you. You want to know, don't you? You're trying to get to the bottom of this. I can tell you, but you must promise to kill me."
I'm not the one that needs vengeance. And he kind of picks him up by the back of his neck and says, "Princess,
Who hired you
take..."
to kill my mother? And he says, "Promise me. Promise, please. You'll end it for me." "I promise. The name. It was the... He chokes. And then he starts to just scream in pain. He reaches to his head. No, I'm sorry, master. I had no choice. No, please." And then suddenly nose begins to erupt, or blood begins to erupt from his nose, pouring forth. His eye sockets, his eyes begin to bulge, and he just tries to say what was on the tip of his tongue, reaching up, and then suddenly drops down lifeless.
Nobody ever has time to tell you what you need to hear.
Is the wounds that he have, is it like a sword wound or anything that killed them all? Essentially killed them the first time?
Looks like you can do a medicine check.
Yeah, I just want to see if
it
came from the
wound that currently killed him?
No, the one that did before.
Okay,
like, was he attacked by the gargoyles and those soldiers?
Yeah. Do a medicine check. A little medicine.
Skills. There we go. 8.
Yeah, you don't really know. You're no doctor.
I'm no doctor.
Anyone else want to make a medicine check? Octavius will. He says, "Don't worry. If we need to ask any more questions, I will speak to him in his afterlife." And he makes a medicine check, and with a 23 says, "The wound seems to be magic in nature. A blast of some kind of arcane missile."
Because it seems weird that so many people are after Sarsa, these people as well, but they must be from some sort of other faction if they're coming here to kill him. Plus, he's working for another faction.
As that goes off, does... Oh, wait, no, that's not what I thought. Sorry. Nothing.
You cut out from... Okay, nothing?
Nothing.
All right. Octavius will say that he wants more answers, so he shall pray. We shall rest on the ship and then wait for help. I will channel some new spells to fix Livy, and I will also pray for the ability to speak with the dead. We shall ask this man more questions and get to the bottom of it if we can. He shall not escape the judgment that he needs to atone for. I shall go now and pray to my God. And he kind of lumbers away, leaving Pal, Sarissa, Reich, and Warren in the room. A bargaining chip, Sarissa says. I don't understand. How are all these things connected?
So there seems to be multiple agencies, people that all have a part of this.
But it seems as if your father's on a separate ship that we could probably visit and
But we don't know where it is.
return him
We can't
from.
find it.
It's around some purple island or something, he said, right?
The purple rocks on the coast of the trackless sea.
Do you know where that is, Sarissa?
A little history check by Sarissa. Anyone else that wants to make a history check that reasons?
There's no way that Break knows anything.
Sounds
knows some shit.
Sounds familiar. You would need a map of the kind of Sword Coast and the Trackless Sea, but you believe it is past the Sea of the Swords. And let me see here as I pull up my map that I definitely don't have. Yeah, you would think that if you could get a hold of a map, you could probably figure out where it is. You suspect that it's some 800 miles off the coast of Neverwinter. So, like, it's far.
Well, we must wait for Octavius, I guess.
Can't does the throne have the ability to teleport, or was it just to certain places?
It can teleport without failure to places that she's been to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
But
guess.
she can't do that right now, though.
She has
But
not
she
been
can't
there.
go anywhere, though.
She
But
has
we
not.
can't go anywhere right now, right?
She does not know that. She just knows that she can't turn back to her giant form. She says that we can try to teleport, but I have not been to these purple rocks. So, if I do some more research, though, if we get back to Maelstrom, I have many sea charts that my father gifted to me. Maybe I have been to somewhere close, and we can get closer.
So then we have the time that Octavius needs, and I guess that we should guard this body, make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to make sure that nothing happens to this corpse here.
Maybe
right?
we can take the corpse back to Maelstrom and explain what happened here and make him answer in front of all of them, and they will see that I was right. Father is not dead.
But do you want to go back in your form that you're currently in?
I don't know if I have much of a choice. I'm expected back in, what was it, 2 weeks, basically? 10 days? I guess we can circumvent. How long do you think it would be till you fix me?
I will be on this till probably 2. And then I'll just leave everything right here. And
I'm expecting that he's not talking to us, so we'll mute him.
In order for me to fix you, we're gonna have to figure out what is the problem exactly and what it takes to fix it. We need to be someplace with city, water deep, perhaps, or someplace with powerful scrolls. It won't be cheap. It's beyond my casting, but with a scroll.
What do you think it will need to fix me?
Could be as simple as a disenchantment of some sort, or could even require something like a wish. It's hard to say.
A wish. She
remove plus, who knows?
Says I've not heard of that magic, but it sounds powerful. You know people capable of it.
Perhaps the leaders of Waterdeep. If not, then if you have the money, then you can find anything there.
Well, I don't know. What do you think we should do? You guys are my council. Maybe we should wait till Livy's back, and we should all decide this as a group. I trust you as my advisors and my knights of the Converging Storm. I shall heed your counsel. But we finally have answers. And although I'm not in my form, maybe this will be enough to prove to them. And if you say you can undo it, I don't know, though. You're right. Don't know how they would react to it.
Well, let's wait for the priest to rest and get Livy back. And yes, I think convening a bit, perhaps getting her input as well would be best. And Octavius's, he might have an idea.
All right. Then you guys head down to the ship. You are landlocked, and it says that it's probably going to be at least 8 hours before help comes because you're far down the river. And do you guys just go to sleep, or do you want to set up some kind of watching system since it's only technically you, Sarissa, and Liviant? Pow is probably going to stay, actually. She's going to stay. And you see her over talking with Neville in the corner. They're kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, I would set up watch with with Warren, and I think that we should definitely pay attention to the situation here.
All right, so you want to take first watch, Warren takes second, and then Sarissa will also
It's fine
volunteer
with
to stay up.
What about Pow and the captain? You must want to be interested in taking watch that your ship isn't overrun by manticores and ogres, right?
Neville, Captain Storn, says, I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. I'll keep an eye on you.
I don't really trust anybody but us.
They would have killed us by now if they didn't want us here.
You are a guest aboard my ship. I would never harm a guest unless they deserved it. Do you deserve it?
We saved your ship, sir.
Well then, consider yourself a guest. In my debt.
Yes.
Or I'm in your debt, rather.
Do you trust him, Warndell?
I think we need to. I need at least 8 hours in order to get my spells back.
You spellcasters. It's awesome. Yes, let's sleep. And I would go back up to where those empty cabins were, where the hammocks and such were.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go up and find a place to go to bed.
All right. So first watch, who's taking it? Warrendale? Or no? You're trusting, is Warren taking it?
I figured I would take it, that way I could get my full 8 hours in sync.
Livy's taking it.
I'll take first one.
Y'all look over to Livy. Livy, you up for first watch? She's just kind of standing there like this. Oh, she has her hand up.
Just the hand raise.
Go ahead and make a
Nose
perception
goes.
check.
0.
16.
19.
You, besides hearing, or not hearing, but kind of hearing the mumbles of Palming and Captain Storn, you don't really see any other activity. The cooks have gone to sleep and just basically pulled up like a table and some chairs and have made like a little kind of fort that they're sleeping in. A couple of other individuals are sitting around, kind of shivering, trying to keep warm. And other than that, there's not a whole lot going out, but you do see that Palming and Neville are engaged in conversation for most of your watch, going back and forth about something. You would notice with a 19 that there's like smiles on their face and they seem to be quite content with themselves.
Yeah, she's got a whole bag of holding full of all sorts of goodies and stuff. I figure probably that they're interested in more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd wake up right once my time is up.
All right, your time is
During
up.
this time, I would actually build myself an awesome fort as well, because I'm totally into making table and chair forts to sleep with. And, yeah, wake him up, but alert him as well to their chatting and stuff, just to keep an eye on them. But they should be all right.
All right. Reich, your watch is up. Make me a perception check. And unmute yourself and tell me what you rolled, my friend. Reich Leviant.
16.
Oh yeah, you rolled it right in front of me. 16. You too. Do not see anything out of the interest or out of the ordinary aboard the ship. You look out into the darkness and see nothing more than the moonlight beginning to crawl across the sky towards where it will set. As the night goes on, those black and blue kind of skies begin to turn to pink and auburn as the sun or the moon is now about to rest for the night, and the sun on the other side of the coast being ready to rise from the riverbeds. You two notice that Neville and Hao Ming seem to talk through most of the night.
I would at one point go over them and say, the two of you seem so happy in light of such an awful situation here.
We're not happy. It is terrible what happened. But as business partners, we must make the most of the situation here.
Yes, you partner with him in this ship, huh?
Yes, I have partnered with her. She now...
Well, she said she resigned upstairs.
Manager of the Grand Dame should get along with the captain. Isn't that right,
yes,
manager?
No doubt.
And she says, yes, I will make sure to take great care of the Grand Dame. It shall be, and shall continue to be, the greatest gambling vessel on the side of this twin rivers.
Wonderful. It's, just a bit suspicious. The two of you being so...
What is suspicious? A terrible tragedy happened where the water baron of the city was tragically murdered, but luckily for us, Pao Ming here saved the day, saving countless civilians, and even in the face of death, rising above all.
You think that she saved the day?
She is a hero.
Of what?
Of the Grand Dame. Surely you remember. And
I
they
clearly
throw
do.
you a bag. And tumbling out of the bag is a pile of coins and diamonds. Surely you remember here that Pao Ming, even in the tragic event of Drylund's death, was fearless. She protected every individual that she could and chased off the assailants. It is only her reason that we are living. You remember, right?
And you're gonna say that she didn't have any help.
Surely she had help. Some brave adventurers, and we paid them justly. They look on the floor. We will remember Drylund for the years to come, and he shall be honored by that statue, and we shall carry on his honor by making sure the ship prospers like it always has. You see Neville kind of rubbing his hands and smiling.
So...
Are we at an
it's all
understanding?
about the profit. It's just like you southern folk. Yeah, but it's just... I know what I know. And he looks down at the bag, looks up at them, and walks away and continues his watch. He does not take the money.
They look at you kind of confused. Shrugs. Pao Ming picks up the bag of coins. They sink back in, and what piles out is literally like a waterfall of coins out of this little bag. She scoops it up, and as she scoops in it to this impossibly small pouch to hold the amount of coins that were in there, it just keeps like shrinking without the bag growing at all. She picks it up and kind of looks at you with curiosity as you walk away. That servant, you hear her whisper, has no clue of the value of money. Chump scrubber for sure.
And is that said, and outside of my range of hearing?
Give me a perception check.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Sounds like mumbling to you.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
You wake up.
Right.
Octavios has new spells prepared. The first thing he does, most importantly, is comes over to Livy and casts Greater Restoration. Livy, you animate back to the life of flesh, and you are really stiff. It's like you just slept on your neck in the worst way, and your neck's kind of like cocked, and you just have the baddest kind of crick in it.
Ow. Ooh.
Oh, you're back with us,
Huh?
Olivia. You're animated.
Ow.
Oh,
How much time? I feel like
it's just the morning, Olivia.
more.
Octavius, yes. Mr. Wren here didn't have what was needed to return you until now.
Oh, I was out. Okay. Okay.
No, you were a statue.
Livy, are you okay? I'm sorry for what happened to you. This was my fault. Those men came for me. I appreciate you protecting me.
No. Yeah. Just sore. And she'll just kind of stretch her arms a little bit, trying to see if she can just limber up a little bit.
I mean, technically, the good news is you probably got a long rest out of it. I don't really know how petrification works, but we'll say that you two got a long rest.
She doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. And she will say to you, I am sorry. I know that must have been a terrible experience, but we have learned much since your occurrence, and I have counsel that I need from all of you. I need your opinion. I need my knights to guide me to the next step of this. I have answers, and I have potential routes that we can choose, but I suspect from here on out that everything we do will be dangerous. And then she will basically lay forth everything that was just spoken about. Hopefully you kind of caught most of it. And we'll say what...
And suspense the animation.
Yeah. And she'll say, what shall our next move be? What do my knights recommend?
I think that returning to your home and explain the situation, and as you said, showing proof that this man did what he did, but also knows of the whereabouts of your father will be advantageous. Well, will be very fruitful for your story.
Indeed.
Do you have any very powerful spellcasters in your court?
Yes, my aunt, Mithrim. She is, although
I
I've not
like
seen
that
it
lady.
in place, I've not seen her powers. She is rumored to be a powerful caster. I don't...
I did not trust your aunt very much. There's something sketchy about her.
Then...
So I think we need you to be in to the best of your capabilities if we're going to go floundering into an octopus layer or something worse.
Well, if there's one person that I know I can trust, it's you, Thor, my uncle. He is the brother to my father, and not only that, but his best friend. He's seen the rise to Hecaton's kingdomship and has always been beside his side. He is as much as a father to me as my dad was. I don't think he would let anything happen to me. And although I do not necessarily know much about my aunt, she has not done anything wrong. Although I do have my doubts of returning in this form. Maybe we can I don't know, make some excuse as to me needing to stay in it.
Um,
Well, it's either that or we head back to Waterdeep and do a little research and get the spells needed. It won't be cheap though. A whole bag of money would come in handy right now.
Huh.
Do you guys
It's
have?
funny you say that. The last night, the captain and that woman, they offered me a large sum of money. But I don't really have a need for that usually. They want to.
Did you dance?
I just talk to them.
Oh, yeah.
They want
Usually
to
large
make
sums
it
of money
look
come
like,
with dance.
yeah, no, they wanted to make it look as if that Pao Ming was the spearhead of this whole saving of the ship.
Yeah, of course. Makes sense.
What do you think, Livy?
Yeah, against your Southerners just don't make sense to me. And he looks to Olivia as well.
a few
We-
things going through Livy's head. On the note of Sarissa being kind of trapped in her form and the awkwardness of returning to her kingdom, I feel like she would mention such like, is there not a way to prove that you are you? Like, is there not things that only a giantess of your position would know? Or is it purely a respect because you are not of the size? It doesn't matter if you are the queen, because you are trapped in this form that they would not respect you.
Unfortunately, this form is the symbol of centuries of misunderstanding between your people and mine.
Fair enough. Okay.
My people are
Prejudice.
not only are they enormous, the heads that they carry sometimes are not full of the most compassion. You individuals, small folk as we call them, are considered our lesser by many, and even furthermore are not trusted. Opportunistic you're seen as. If my family sees me in this light, trapped, I don't know. You yourselves witnessed my sister's greed for the claim of the title that I hold. I don't think they would go as far as to betray me. But after that stunt they pulled, I truly don't know.
Fair enough.
We have two options as I see it. We go after the trail that Warrendell has laid out and hope that we find a cure to this before the time runs up and the giant lords come back to Maelstrom. Or we go forth and hope that the people who support me truly do, like my uncle. For we do have answers, and we have an opportunity to bring the king back.
And on the about bringing King Hekaton back, and talking about the octopus finale or whatever, Olivia would look to Tavius and Moore and just be like, I wonder if this place, if that was what was affecting Sunny, that curse that she'd gotten was...
What did they call themselves? Those fanatics.
History check if you don't remember.
Like, Mary, can't remember.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned it one time or two.
I definitely did.
Livy rolled a 7, so she...
18.
So you think back to your time in Luskin when the weird, almost mind flayer-like entities snuck into your room. They were not mind flayers, just to be sure, but they called themselves the Kraken Priests, or the Kraken Society.
Oh, do you think that they'll be involved where we're going?
Octavius will speak forth and say that the day that my high father was murdered on this very ship, individuals with black robes and what I thought was the tattoo of snakes going down their arms killed my father, Herschel. that same looking tattoo, now that I've seen it, like Drylund had on him. I think that this Kraken society also played a part in the assassination of my only mentor.
It seems that this Kraken society has your father.
Fate, yeah, the fate of your father. So, I think that we should do this. There, compatriots. We should go back to Waterdeep and beg them to fix her. And they said they would help us with anything that was necessary in this fight. They did say that. I wasn't paying attention to all of that you were doing because the squabbling was quite annoying. But they said they would help. They sent us here and said if we could get back there, that they would help us with whatever we needed.
Also, if you and Livy want to make a combined, since you're both kind of studies of the arcane, you guys can both make a combined Arcana check, one of you at advantage if you want, and see if you can discern maybe what was cast on Sarissa, so that you can get a better
I already
guidance.
tried once, so I could point out what I found to Livia if she wants to try it with advantage. I think that makes sense.
I'm okay with that.
All right, Livy, give it a little advantage Arcana check.
20, unnatural.
A natural 20. As you just get the description of the spell that was cast, Warrendell mentions that he's seen these words and he kind of mumbles them to you, and the somatic component of the glyphs were traced out in the air. And then he says that he was using our arcane focus, so I guess you didn't see the material, but you are sure with a natural 20 that you've heard this spell. This is a very troubling and high level spell. It sounds to you like true polymorph was casted. That is some of the highest powered magic in the world. You know that it can transform a creature into pretty much anything. And if concentration is focused on it for long enough, an hour, that creature permanently becomes that thing. You also know that once they permanently become that thing, that the only thing to really undo it is a wish spell.
A wish spell.
Alright, so I feel like Livy would have related like, oh, you know, I think one of my instructors used that spell on a student, turned him into a ferret, and another teacher came in and undid it real quick, making his concentration. But he, goodness, that boy was pretty shook up. But just said, lucky I didn't get a study on you longer. Otherwise, you'd wish I had it, or wish it hadn't crossed me. But that's how long ago did this happen?
Yesterday.
Like, yes, okay. Who did it? Because if
I don't have his name. I know you gave it, but I don't think he actually mentioned it.
No, I don't think he told us.
Yeah, he said he said his name to you.
Tholtz.
Yeah.
If they had, like, there's a chance that she might be able to pop.
Actually, let me check something to you, because I believe now that you're saying things that I believe if you... I could have swore, just because I'm remembering something from a book I read, that if you kill the person who casted it, it can be undone also, but I'm not 100% on that. So I'm just going to say that, yeah.
With, I imagine, with no information, it'd just be like, for her, I'd be like, it's curious though, because like, it was kind of hectic. Maybe were they onto you and earlier?
They definitely.
It was a substantial amount of time to make it permanent, at least what I recall.
They came for me. They knew it was me, and then they left. This was planned, thought out. Somehow they knew exactly where we were going to be.
Okay, but if they came, they left. I don't know. It just sounds too quick. That you should be able to be reverted.
He likely either went invisible or hung around and cast the spell before. I mean, either way, we can't reverse it right now, and by the time we can, it would be permanent anyway.
It would definitely be permanent by now. An hour has passed,
Yeah.
so she's 100%.
Like you had mentioned, like they'd have to have concentration on it for an hour, right?
Yeah. But it's past that time. So
But-
it's the wish.
Yeah, because he casted the spell and then basically fled. And then as long as he just thought about it for an hour, which you're suspecting that he probably didn't just like stop thinking about it.
Yeah. That's the detail that she was trying to pick up because again, if he's stuck around for the fight, like okay, what's the likelihood of him maintaining that concentration for the fight? And so, but he cast it and fled. Okay. So he's like,
Yeah, and if you were to ask
And I
Warrendale,
guess
Warrendale, I don't even think landed a shot on him. I think he tried to cast a couple spells, but they all missed or were countered.
Yeah. So I guess we do need to go to Waterdeep and again beg for this to be reverted for the good of this war.
You would also know Livy with or I guess you guys can make a, no, I'm not going to say anything, but you also suspect, Livy, that killing the person who does it is another way to undo it. I'm just going to say that because I don't feel like reading the paragraph. So at least you guys have two alternatives.
So getting the spell cast, getting a scroll would be easier than killing a mage of that power.
Absolutely.
I would sever it, but unless we have something to like scry the person with, I don't think we're gonna have a way of finding them. We're already having a fun time trying to figure out where Hecton is, and
we have that information.
Let's
move on.
But we still gotta get there.
Well, the princess, the princess has been here and there, so we should be able to teleport, right, princess?
To Waterdeep?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
But there's the fact that there still seems to be another faction or something in this. Those people came here for her, but they weren't like these octopus people. They were
no. It seems there's a lot of the more evil of this plane and area that are all working together. It's like us against them. Don't you see that, Warrendale?
That's my point, though.
So we should be swift.
Octavius, were you going to try to speak with his body? I'm curious what he was going to say at the
How long do we have to do that?
Let me just read up. Let me think about how Speak with the Dead works, he says. It's been a while since I've casted this spell, but if I focus, I can grant some semblance of life and intelligence to this corpse. It should allow us to question him.
I believe he was going to mention a name. I have an inkling of an idea, but
I can ask him 5 questions, and if they knew the answer, they will answer, although they're not always the most forthright, especially if they don't want to give a truthful answer. There might be...
He definitely seemed as if he was interested in telling us. So...
That was before he
But
died,
how long
though.
do we have to do that?
Well, I can do it any time now. It's only a spell. It takes a couple moments. I guess I can go speak with him right now if you guys are interested in it.
But do you still want to try to show that in front of your family, princess?
Oh, I see what you're saying. How long can he speak to the dead for? Yeah, I believe it's for, like, ever. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Reich doesn't know that, so... then, to Waterdeep. See if we can fix her. If we can't, we'll deal with it how we have to. It's we're wasting time.
We should talk to the dead body first, then to Waterdeep. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, I have some questions I want to answer. I want him to answer anyways. And then he will beginning to head to where the
Hey,
Ups-
can we
Go ahead.
Can we take a minute or two? I gotta really use the restroom.
Yeah, let's take a quick 2-minute break then and do that. I'll grab a drink and then we'll get back to it. Unfortunately, it looks
Thanks.
like Dan will not be able to join us for the rest of the night. I'm
Sucks.
sorry, Dan, but hopefully we catch you on the next session. Let's take a quick break here, guys.
All right, thanks.
All right, I am back.
Yeah, you should check out that
Yeah, for
other
sure.
program. I set it up today. It works just like OBS. You bring in pictures or overlays or feeds. I don't know how it works yet with having other people join in the feed. I know it basically creates an icon for each person, and you can drag that icon and turn it into a panel within
Okay.
the program or whatever you want to call it, and lay everything out. And then it was literally, I just click when you like what you want to stream to. I hit YouTube. It asks to sync up with my Gmail account. You say yes, and then you hit go live, and you go live like instantly.
Wow.
I did my whole overlay.
So does that mean tomorrow night we will be live, or?
I'm gonna try it first. I'll have to set up things a little bit earlier. Only thing I'm not sure is like how it sounds. You can have up to 8 people in the call at one time, so I know we can fit that. I'm just not sure how it looks on your guys' end. I know what it looks like on my end.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can mess around with it tomorrow night beforehand.
I think for you guys, it looks kind of like what Zoom does because you won't see the whole,
Yeah.
the technical side of it. Where on my case, everybody's just in a panel down the right hand side of the screen.
Yeah.
And I would take your camera, your panel, whatever you want to say, and just drag it over to where I want it on the thing.
wouldn't say I'm getting like good at this by any means, but I'm starting to figure it out. Although I find that I still like make a mistake every single time I try to go live at least once, but getting closer. So maybe something more simple would be nice.
Yeah, you don't even have to like hit live on this or that or do anything. Just the one button, you click live, and it goes live.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Nothing in between.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody is back. Is everybody back? Cool. Then Octavius will begin his pathway to the staircase where the body of Drylund should be, and then stepping in the way is Palming and Neville, and they said, "I'm sorry, where are you going?" And he says, "Out of my way, please. I need to ask questions to your former boss." And they would say that we don't really know if we want you talking to him. And he would reply, "That's foolish. Like, if you're going to give me a problem here, then we can have a problem, but I will speak to him." And then they will say something along the lines of they wish to be there when it happens then, just to make sure that you guys aren't doing anything suspicious, because they need Drylund's body for a proper funeral. And yeah, so they'll follow you upstairs. And you guys also go up with him?
Yeah, I would. And just mention to me, you can do what you want and take the credit. Become the new water baron or drive the ship, whatever you want to do. We have other important matters.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do this. You get the glory. Give me that back.
Perfect. All right, here's your cut of saving the day, heroes. Neville says to you, kind of smirking. "I thought you would see it my way after a little bit of thought. I respect the whole honorable type, but let's be honest, we all have bills to pay."
Yeah, it's and I would give that money to Warrendale.
Hopefully it works out in your favor a bit better than the previous owner.
Mm-hmm.
He'll wink at Palming.
"Well, thank you for your wishes," she says. "Go ahead, ask your questions." Octavius will begin to cast a spell, Speak with Dead, and suddenly lurching forth from the table is the body of Drylund. He kind of comes up, and his face is still like saggy. His jaw no longer seems to have any tension, and it just kind of sits there slack-jawed. His eyes are still bloodshot red from whatever psychic traumatic damage he has taken, and he rises forth and says, "Why do you bring me back?" And it's up to you guys to ask the 5 questions, because I'm not doing everything here.
The
So go ahead.
we definitely want to know the person's name.
Yep, which I'm pretty sure I know, but
Yeah, we definitely
really
need
that's
to.
the only main.
Yeah, and then I guess I don't know what.
The first
So I
question,
know that
who
everything's
was
a
it?
fact.
Drylund says, my master is a master of below, the doom of the depths. The person that hired her is the opposite."
Does that mean anything to you two?
Is it perhaps the doom of the desert?
He smiles. "You know a lot."
That's the main thing is we need to tell. I think perhaps Octavius could get a couple of his own answers.
That was
We don't know those questions. You know what I mean? Sorry, buddy.
yeah. Did you kill my father? I did not personally. but I seen to it.
Actually, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Because I don't know if it ever really popped up, but did. I don't know how to word it. The attackers of the boat kill him. I guess it would be.
Yeah, who slay you the first time?
Either that or
Right.
how, or like who they are. Are they working for, I'm assuming, the Blue Dragon? I can't think. Imarith, or whatever her name is. Since she's a big stone fetish.
Ancient agents of the one who summons forth a storm from her mouth.
Yeah, that just answered your question.
Gales blue.
Yeah, so you knew the answer to that. That's cool.
That, I believe, is three
It's three.
questions.
Yeah.
2 more.
Yeah. It's
Then
I don't really have anything else. Unless
Octavius
Octavius needed
will
anything.
ask why they killed his father, and he will say that it is because he was competition. Slargatho promised me that if I played a role in the capture of Hecaton, that I would rise to great power, and none
we'll dress above.
in Yatar will question me. Last question. What did you do to the people of Yartar? Why does none question you? And he will say, my master's agents came in the night and whisked them away to the dark depths, transforming them to their true form. They will be born soon.
Wonderful.
And then he falls back to death.
I hope you give him a good burial, I guess. I think we should be on our way.
I really fucking wish Dan was here right now. Damn it. Damn it, Internet. Because I don't want to say for sure, but I imagine that Octavius would... I don't actually know. He didn't really like her. This is a tough call. I'm going to just go on DM intuition and say that he would say... He said something about the people changing. That means the people of my hometown, they're in trouble. We're going to leave them to that.
The only way to save them is to follow this through. So you have to figure out what this dragon has to do with this, and what the octopus has to do with this, and who's working for who.
Sounds like everybody's working for the desert and the doom, right?
But one of those two must have an upper hand, or else there's going to be a battle between them at some point.
There's gonna be a battle between everything at some point. It looks like they're hard now.
Depends on which one we want to go after them.
I say we go after her father. He seems to be the most powerful.
Save him, and hopefully things will start.
Yeah, and I don't want to make the call for Dan, so I'm just going to say he's going to go with the party. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah. Sorry, as well. Yeah. But yeah, we gotta move forward.
Go to Waterdeep, see if we can sort this out, and then back to Maelstrom, and then
Well,
to Hackathon.
we have the funds in which you were speaking of now, so.
And then, hearing obviously what was spoken, Palming and Neville would say, that doesn't sound very promising. People transforming. Speaking of which, shouldn't our saviors be here soon? It's been over 8 hours now, and we still haven't heard from them. The trip should have only taken them about 4 to 5 there, and even shorter back.
Yeah, new business. times get a bit tough. Might not have as much business as you thought. Most of them might not be coming, but good luck anyway. I said we head out.
Yeah, and I would look at the princess and say, I think we should leave them here. This is not our problem.
Absolutely. As you look at the princess, she looks preoccupied. She's looking around as if she's heard something. What?
What is it?
A 14? What is she looking for?
A message. A message from Mithrin.
Whoa.
She just spoke to me. She looks troubled.
Yeah.
My uncle, Uthor. Something's happened to him.
Go figure.
He's fallen sick. He's not doing well.
Well, do you want to fix your current situation, or do you want to go directly to your home?
Wanda,
It's up to you, there, princess.
why do you not trust my aunt?
She rubbed me the wrong way, so, I may not read people the best, but I can tell when something's amiss. Perhaps I'm wrong, but yeah.
But even you were saying that if your people, you may trust your aunt and whatnot, but if your kind see you and such, that it may not be good. What is?
Then we
what if
must
we
go
tra-
to the city you speak of, Waterdeep. There must be people there. We must return me to my form at any means. If
Yes.
what you're
Yes.
saying is true, then she summons forth the Worm Skull throne, heading above to the balcony. Quickly. We must leave here at once.
I'll definitely go there.
Live will hold on.
She sits on the throne and channels the spell. It's as if the air from your lungs is sucked forth, blackness, then light, many colors whisking by as you feel yourself lightless through the through the universe, and then suddenly, within an instant, it's as if an eternity has passed. But then, bamf, you are flicked into the existence of the snowy scape of Waterdeep.
Now don't forget, I have a few friends here. One of them who doesn't like us very much at the moment, so it's best if we stay behind the curtains. Although, my friend, the boss man, might be interested to know that
The blue dragon is a bigger problem than we thought.
yeah, if he comes, he comes. He'll handle it then.
Well,
Yeah, and we would make our way to the, I don't remember her name is, because again, Reich wasn't really paying attention, but the leader.
We'll be able to. We're gonna have to get counsel, I imagine, and go through the proper such things. But yeah,
Make it so, word now.
would I have any idea of how to even get in contact with Lady? What's her name?
Silverhand?
Yeah.
It definitely isn't going to be like you just stroll in and say, hey, I want to talk to Silverhand. So up to you guys what you do from here.
Well, how brave do you fellows feeling today? I say if we go down, I can shank a few people down in the lower woods, the boss man, he doesn't like that. I'm sure I could get his attention one way or another.
I not interested in murder, Warrendell, but we have to do what we have to do to continue this this process.
And if this wasn't looking for someone who can help Sarissa, like Waterdeep is where Livy's from, so might she have a knowledge? Would someone at the academy
can make a history check. And what are you trying to discern?
Someone who can help Sarissa.
Okay, so like a powerful wizard. Yeah, okay, make a check.
Even just a scroll or something. I can.
Alright, I got 13. So.
13. So yeah, you know that there's Blackstaff Tower where Vajra Blackstaff, currently one of the strongest casters in the city. Silverhand is also known to be an archmage of sorts. You also, though, both would know that like a wish spell isn't something that people just like do. Like this is literally like magic of legends and has like universal ramifications to casting. So it's just like one of like there's definitely not just going to be like a scroll of wish lying around that you're going to buy, because like that kind of shit can like dramatically change the entire universe kind of situation.
If we could gain audience with the leader of your schooling, maybe he could make the council with, I don't know.
You also would know that Belladora seems somehow wrapped up in this if you could find her.
Yeah.
She always comes looking for my stuff when I leave without. I think she likes me.
They all like you, don't they?
It's a curse, really.
Yeah, it's wonderful for you. Let's... I wish I had the connections you do here, but I do not. So one of you two, you need to move forth.
Well, if you wish, Livy, you can go check with the tower, see what you can drum up. I don't mind going down to the lower wards and seeing if I can find an old friend. I might not make it back, but I'll give it my bits.
Are you looking for old Snarl?
Yeah, that'd probably be my intention.
He definitely has some connections, but you definitely didn't leave on the best of terms.
I know. But I have information he wants to, so I can maybe live a little while.
Yeah.
Your call. What do y'all want to do?
This is
That would be his recommendation, to let you guys go to the tower and he would go down to the lower ward.
Yeah, I think Livy's kind of concerned. Is like, well, how about we first go check
to the tower.
Mages and go check with the tower, see what the Silverhand or the Blackcasters can do. If we can't get anything there, then if you want to go reach out to your connections, you may. We can come and help too if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right, so you head out for Blackstaff Tower then?
Yeah.
All right, so obviously the streets of Waterdeep are bustling as always, and even in the wintry conditions and after the aftermath of the walking statue coming to aggression towards the city, the repairs have already made some decent way. Even in a couple of nights it's only been, some of the structures have the foundations laid out, and hundreds of people are hard at work. You begin to head and you see the long peaking tower of Vajra Blackstaff, an organization known for training wizards to be protectors against those who would do bad with arcane magic. Probably a place that you studied at, Livy, to be an eldritch knight that you are today. And you would look forth, and do you have a name for your instructor? Past mentor.
Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Good old Hank.
Yeah.
I think I know him.
Henry, it's been Livy. It's been so long since I've seen you. How you have grown. He's kind of like a hunchbacked looking individual that uses a little cane that he steps the cane forward and then pulls himself with the cane and then steps forward. He has this long kind of sagging hair, balding on the top, and these squinty eyes that you never really know if he's looking at you or looking through you. And he says, "Oh, Livia Caspian. Wow, how you've grown."
It's good to see you too, Henry. No, Professor Smith. I guess part of my informality.
What have you been up to, my dear? Have you been studying your arcane like I taught you? And he begins to knock you on the shins with his staff.
Less studying, but more applying. And
You don't look like you've been using magic very much. Have you been relying on secondary help? Like a magic item? I can detect these things on you. I sense them. When's the last time you even casted a spell, you lazy dackle fiend?
Oh no, just yesterday I was cooking up a storm and cleaning. It's not the best use, I understand very much so, but I can guarantee you I am out actively applying the lessons that you've taught me.
Oh, he's so ambitious, just like your grandfather. Tell me, why have you returned?
Because my path has led me back here. And assuming everyone's there, she would then introduce Sarissa, and this is my friend Sarissa, and Kyle looks at her to kind of gauge real quick, is it okay to disclose? And I'm going to...
Yeah, she gives you like the go for it because time is of the essence here.
This is my friend Sarissa.
Hi.
Sarissa. And yeah, she's King Hecaton's daughter, and
nobility! If I've had a schmeckle for every time someone claimed to be a queen or a king, I would not be a lowly professor of black stuff.
Oh, Professor Smith, you know I don't exaggerate often.
His eyes squint even harder. You don't exaggerate! Being a Caspian, do not be so foolish.
Okay, besides the point, she is stuck. She had true polymorph cast upon her, and we need to liberate that. And
well, Livy, you've a study of Blackstaff Tower. You should know how to alleviate this issue. Why have you come here?
To find someone who can help perform the wish spell.
And how do you undo a wish spell, Olivia Caspian?
Undo?
Or undo, sorry, I'm going old in my old age. Senile in my old age. How do you undo a true polymorph?
Through a wish spell, if we can find the original caster, killing them.
In which of these are a true possibility? Being a studied member of Blackstaff Tower.
Both are a true possibility.
He slaps you in the shin with his cane.
Ow! Professor, we have done enough killing, and surely that cannot be the answer to pursue.
Livy, you know better. I am troubled that you would come here. I understand you must be desperate to ask so. But you know very well that what you ask is not something obtainable.
By anyone.
The magic that you speak of is not something that can be handled lightheartedly. People have done more than you. Greater people, stronger people, and yet still they do not mess with the powers that you speak of.
But this may save the world, sir. Is there not a greater prize than that?
Livy would be like, no, he does speak truth.
The world, my giant friend, has been in trouble more times than you could even recount.
And many people have tried to use the wish spell for saving the world. But it just...
Do I need to reform you in the mission or in the lesson of what ancient legendary spells such as the one that you speak of are capable of doing? Or have you forgot your lesson so soon?
I have not. It just... I don't know. It just seemed not. It seemed harmless. Like, I get
Harmless!
that this can
Harmless,
alter-
Livy!
Yes, it's a spell of a person. Like, transforming her back, how is that going to cause drastic changes?
One wrong slip in the incantation, and this very world that you say that is in trouble could be destroyed. Even the most studied and most powerful of casters, Blackstaff herself, has only a chance of successfully casting the spell. And if even she does slip even the slightest, she'll be killed. And that is the best thing that could happen.
Okay.
I guess we are.
Thank you, Professor. I'm sorry for not remembering my lessons as accurately.
Don't be sorry, my child. I know that you would not have come here unless you were truly desperate and thought that that was the only way. But if there was one thing that you taught me as a student, it's that even when things seem only attainable in one way, you, living Caspian, are capable of finding another way. All the other students, they were more studied than you. They were better casters than you. Yet you still achieved what you have. You do not need this magic to solve the problem. I will not see it to you disturbing Blackstaff. If you have another person that you think is capable of casting the spell, then you will seek them out. But she will not be your shortcut.
Alright. Thank you.
Good luck, Livy.
Right now I'm also having Libby kind of searching her mind of what she would possibly know of a scry spell. Like I feel like that's something that
Arcane? Check. But yeah, basically what you would know thinking back to your lessons is that like the wish spell, even though technically as per 5e it's like a 9th level spell and most 9th level casters have access to it, it's something that at least in the world that I have is handled with the utmost of care. People aren't just like popping off wishes like they're going out of style.
Yeah, no, it totally makes a lot of sense. Like I like how it was discussed there. But I feel like if Livy's going to go the route of trying to find this original caster,
give me an Arcana check to see what you know about scrying.
16.
You can do it at advantage if you want because you are in your old school where you could very easily visit the library section and pull out some books if you want to take an additional hour to search, or you can keep the 16.
A quick look to the party of is it okay if we take just a little longer here? Thumbs up for everybody? Yes? Cool? I will.
Whatever is the answer.
All right, then roll at advantage. Mr. Warrendell, you're a caster. If you're proficient in Arcana, you can also roll, but 19 is pretty good.
I probably won't beat that, but...
Yeah, and let me
actually by one.
go double check on scrying real quick.
All right, scrying is a divination spell. It is known to be mid-level magic, out-of-game meta-wise, level 5. It is available to people who are clerics, warlocks, wizards, bards are even capable of casting it. And you would know that it is a spell that takes 10 minutes of focus, some verbal, somatic, and material components, $1,000 gold pieces worth of crystal or silver or mirrors, kind of reflective substances. So $1,000 worth of like a really fancy crystal ball or a silver mirror. And then you can see or hear or focus on a particular creature that you can see on the same plane as existence as you. They must try to subconsciously or unconsciously resist this. And then depending on how well or familiar you are with the individual is your chance at succeeding.
Okay, so Libby not being able to cast that spell, but if she were to get someone to scry on someone, she would need information or an item or something from the individual.
So basically, the more familiar you are, the better chances you have of succeeding, and the more possessions or stuff that you have. Like if you were to have like a piece of hair or nail or something like a body part, you'd have a very good chance of succeeding. But the less you know them and the less you have on them, the more chance they have at succeeding.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And Libby would inform the others of this, just saying like, if we're going to find him, like, we're either going to find someone who knows him really well from our vague description or we're going to need something from him, and I don't think anything of this was left, was it?
Well, the only person that met this man was Warren.
Right. So, I don't know, Warren.
And Sarissa.
Well, Sarissa would say, there is the scrying pool back at Maelstrom.
Mm.
Do you remember him, Princess?
I remember his face.
I mean, Queen. What about you, Warrendale? Think you remember him well?
I think so. Shouldn't be hard.
So then I guess we're gonna have to take our chances and go back in the state that we're in.
Would you know
It's,
time
unfortunate.
would you know, is there like a regular time when the scrying pool is alone or empty?
She's the queen. She could just use it whenever she wants, right?
That's the thing, though. It's not so much about her being the queen and using it whenever she wants. It's about people seeing her because she expressed concern.
We're going, Olivia. We're going to go there, and we're going to show them that we have pertinent information at this point. Isn't that correct? Right there, my queen. We have to get them on our side. And if her grandfather or uncle or her family is in a bad way, she's gonna want to have a presence around anyways. We need to move quickly. This is not anything we can debate any longer. Is that correct there, my queen?
She looks a bit defeated. So, the people that you know here aren't going to fix me.
Seems as if...
Not of this tower. Like, she'd look over at Warren like, you might have connections, but it is a tricky spell that just not any average person, like even as my professor said, the skill needed, it once slight incorrect maneuver incantation could have drastic ripple effects, and so if everything
Catechism is promise.
yeah.
Unfortunately, their princess or queen. I'm sorry. I think that you're going to have to use your queenly ways to your advantage. They're going to have to believe you.
Well, let's hope that they remember that I am their family.
You look exactly the same with just commenting clothes on.
Indeed, I do.
You're just much smaller than even I. And he kind of goes over and pats her on the head.
She smiles and says, and if anything you lot have taught me, it's that even small things are capable of great actions. But Warrendale, you look worried.
Yeah. Works enough for me, I suppose.
You don't think there's anybody else you could reach out to?
Well, I certainly could, but it isn't gonna... Well, you met Clouth already. He's the only person I know that would have access to anything to even help with the situation.
And I
But
don't
of
think
course,
that.
Yeah, I don't think he would really care either. So
Yeah, and I think what Octavius did is probably going to burn that bridge.
yeah.
To which Octavius would probably say something along the lines of, "He has my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Let's go see him. I have a bone to pick with him."
But
not
I could go
again.
talk to him, certainly. I'm not afraid of him, but I might not come back either.
Well,
But he would be
Livy,
interested to know in all of this that's happening, too. He could be, dare I say, an ally of sorts.
If money is ever right, it seems like that's all he cares about.
Money and power. But
well, Livy says that the spell is a dangerous one. By the sounds of it, maybe what your old professor said is right. Is my life really that much more important than the thousands, millions of people that it could jeopardize?
There's been many lost here, Queen, as you know, and I've told you.
Well,
You wouldn't lose your life. You're just in a different form.
back to Maelstrom it is then.
Yes.
Now, she begins to focus. The one problem that we will have is that teleporting into Maelstrom, there are spells in place that only can be reached through the teleportation circle. So the throne will teleport us right to there. Once inside, we should be able to move around. I can summon it, but I can't bamf around. So we come in where I believe you guys came in.
Yes. If I remember correctly, the summoning circle, the scrying circle is not far from there, right? Or is that where your animal was?
It is a bit of a distance.
Yes. With these little eggs, it should be fun.
They will know
And
we're
that's his
coming.
attempt at a joke.
They will know we're coming. The spell has means of alerting anyone that has when teleporting in.
You just got to be truthful with them, their princess.
All right. Well, she looks to Henrik, who's like kind of just like half asleep at a desk, and as you look over, you realize he's fully asleep. And she says, "Might be dead." A bubble pops, and he's, What did I miss? What did I miss? And then she says, "Is there any place that we can teleport around here?" And he says, "Well, clearly, use the teleportation room." And waves his cane over the door. You enter in, and there's several etchings of teleportation circles of different variants wrapped in this massive circle. Glyphs galore, and she summons forth the Warm Skull Throne and says, "Are you ready?"
you sure don't want me to go talk to Klaus?
If you think it will help, but I don't want you to danger yourself. It seems like that individual is no longer an ally, if he ever was.
I think it was just his boss.
Octavio says, "Yeah, I think we should go talk to him."
Oh, come on. No, not... No.
Yes, let us go. Let us go.
And Rick just hugs. It says, "We'll be leaving now. Please."
All right, then the same sickening feeling of teleportation that even though you've done it a few times now, you still do not get used to. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's not right either. So I'm sorry, I'm bringing forth the map here. Ba-bum.
So is this something we're going to get done with here in 20 minutes? Or
Oh yeah, we're
what
not
do you
going.
think?
We're not going much further at all. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm
just
going to end.
getting a little,
and
getting a little tired here, bro. Sorry about that.
No worries. Absolutely. We're almost done. And you are returned to the portal chamber of Maelstrom. You've been here before, so you recognize the kind of purple stones the pool and the steaming vent from the southern quadrant. And as you teleport in, you already position yourself, and she would say that the scrying room is upstairs on the second level, past the kitchen and over into the scrying chamber. We should be quick if we want to figure out where this guy is, and you guys begin to head towards the stairs. But by the time you are already at the stairs, you hear footsteps coming down, and there are 2 storm giant guards that greet you. And when they see you, they say, "Where is the queen?" Sarissa steps forth and they kneel down. But then they look up curiously and say, "Queen, why do you stay in that form still? It is a disservice to you." And then she would say, "I need to be escorted to the scrying pool right away." And that is where we will end the session, since Corey is going to fall asleep on us. Just kidding.
Sorry, man. I'm not trying to be a pain yet.
I'm just kidding. No, it's a good time to end. You guys covered more ground than I thought you were going to get anyways. I honestly had no clue which way you were going to go. So we will pick up next session on Saturday, hopefully not too far from now. Thanks for playing, guys. If you have not had your fill of our faces, or at least 3 of our faces, Morgan, the Coffee Bean GM, is running a campaign with me, Dan, and a couple other great individuals as players. I'm not sure if we will actually be live tomorrow, but there's a couple sessions up, and it's one hell of a campaign. It's a kind of prequel to the lead up to Descent to Avernus. Morgan has whipped up his own little prequel story that is quite awesome, and I am playing a very cool wizard, so go to his channel, check that out. Otherwise, catch us here at this channel playing the final few chapters of Storm King's Thunder. We're almost there, guys. 44 sessions, and the finale is quickly approaching. Hope you guys had fun today. Thank you for anyone watching, and thank you for playing, guys. Until next time, peace out.